Welcome to Bariatric Expert, the podcast that delves deep into the world of bariatric surgery and nutrition. I'm your host, Sheri Burke, a registered holistic nutritionist with a specialization in bariatric nutrition. I've been working closely with bariatric clients since 2008, helping them navigate their journey towards a healthier and more fulfilling life. Whether you're considering bariatric surgery, have already undergone the procedure, or are simply interested in learning more about this transformative field, this podcast is for you. So hi, and I'm thrilled to have with us today Jennifer Mullins. Jennifer is originally from California, but she is residing in Utah. She's a remarkable individual. She's 2 years post-op now. She's serving as a captain for Departments of Corrections. She has a very big job. She's not only a rock star in her profession, but she's also a rock star in our bariatric community. So today I welcome Jennifer Mullins.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So we're really honored to have you here because you're my vegan. You're my vegan Jen. And I remember you had surgery back in September of 2021.
Yes.
And I gave you the nickname Vegan Jen because you wanted to discuss, really dig deep into bariatric nutrition after having, after gastric sleeve surgery. And you're 2 years post-op now, start next month, right?
Yes. Next month.
Because we're recording this August 2023, and you had surgery in September 2021.
Correct.
Great. So could you tell us a little bit about your experience navigating bariatric surgery while maintaining your amazing vegan lifestyle?
So I was vegan about 8 years prior to having surgery, and I did more of a whole food plant-based, which when you do whole food plant-based, it's really kind of a high carb. You do a lot of whole grains, a lot of beans, lentils, potatoes, and I lost a lot of weight. I actually lost about 100 pounds doing that. And then I started getting into the vegan junk, which was the fake meat, the Oreo cookie, potato chip, and while eating a vegan diet can get you to a lower weight and in a healthier body, the vegan junk food does not, just like with regular animal products and, omnivores eating both, vegetables and meat. And so when I did that, I also had, I had thyroid cancer, so I didn't have a thyroid. So I gained a significant amount of weight. I went from like 125 up to 250 pounds, and I just struggled. It didn't matter what I did. I could not get the weight off again. Trying to go back was really hard. So I worked with my doctor here in the state, and she had actually taken her mother to Mexico for bariatric surgery. And she said, we really need to fix our medicine here in the United States, because this is something that could be a huge tool for everybody. My husband was really not on board. He's like, just keep trying to do the vegan thing. And I was like, yeah, but I've already messed that up, kind of struggling, and I'm having some mental health issues over it. So I worked with my doctor, which for a great shout out, Amanda Nelson. She's amazing. And she got my husband to be a believer in going and doing the surgery would be beneficial to me. So we went ahead and started looking at people. And then I had a friend who had already gone through you, a couple actually. And so I contacted you to find out what all I needed to do. And then I started to prepare myself. But one of the things that I did was I really enjoyed altering regular meals like lasagnas and different things like that you eat with meat in it, and finding alternative ways to make it so it would come out vegan. And one of my favorite things I would make was like a taco del pastor. Well, I was able to make it with sweet potato and pineapple and everything like that. And I really loved to eat it. But again, it was high carb. So I had to start working to change some of that. So once I had surgery, I needed to come up with ways to make my recipes more high protein, lower carb, so that it would work with the ESG surgery. So that's kind of what I've been doing then. And I was able to do that for a year and just really get the weight off for a year.
I was a little bit concerned in the beginning when we were when you were post-op and we were doing vegan recipes. I was a little bit worried because I did think that it would be a little bit more of a slow crawl. I'm not against a vegan diet whatsoever, but it's also a very, very difficult diet. You have to really get it right. So it's really commendable that after being a vegan for 8 years, that you had surgery, you started that role being a vegan, and then you transitioned from a vegan diet back to consuming animal products. Could you share the factors that led you to change from your vegan lifestyle to an animal-based diet again? I'm really curious what those reasons were.
So it was really a struggle for me because my skin felt and looked younger eating a vegan diet. My stomach, the bloating went away, the dry skin. I had an issue with psoriasis prior to that. That went away. So it made me feel better. But again, when I would eat the vegan junk food, all those same issues started coming back. But what happened was after surgery, because my stomach is so small and the only way to get the protein was going to be through lentils or beans or a lot of green leafy vegetables and tofu. After surgery, I used to eat tofu, like 2 or 3 blocks of tofu a week. And after surgery, my stomach was like, nope, you can't have tofu. It just tore me up. It hurt so bad. And I was like, what am I going to do now? And lentils and beans was my next option, but my stomach was so small, I could not get enough into my diet to keep my protein intake up and also to keep my iron levels up. So my iron levels dropped significantly, and the doctor said I had one of 2 choices. She says, first, let's try an iron supplement with a vitamin C supplement to help the iron to absorb better, or you're going to have to come in and you're going to have to do an intravenous
iron infusions.
Yes, that's exactly what she said. And as I said earlier, I had had cancer. And after that, I just did not like needles because you get poked so much. And I just was like, no, thank you. I have to go enough to keep up on my regular treatment stuff to make sure that nothing's come back or we haven't had any issues. So I was just not interested in doing an infusion. So I said, okay, I'm going to try this. And she's like, well, your last option is going to be, you might have to add in some animal products. And I was like, oh. And at the same time that was going on, I was starting my stepmom had passed away, so I had been going to help take care of my dad. And then he got some health diagnosis where it became an end-of-life diagnosis, and I started falling back into some bad habits of eating crackers, whatever I could find just to shove in my mouth when I had time, when I wasn't, running dad back and forth to doctor's appointments and stuff. And I started seeing the scale started to creep up really fast. I was like, no, we're going the wrong way. So, okay, I'll give the animal products a try. And my dad was a complete meat and potato eater, and he would not eat for anybody else but me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go back to this. So I started cooking meat for him, and meat and potato meals for him. And then I just started eating a little bit at a time. When it first started, I was really worried because as it is with your new tummy, sometimes you have some issues with eating certain foods. And being that I hadn't had any animal products in such a long time, I was like, oh, this is just going to destroy my stomach. So I started with poached eggs. I started with boiled eggs, and I would just mush them up really good to eat them. Mix a little bit of seasoning on there, and then just eat what I could. And at first, I could only get about a half of an egg down, and my stomach would rumble. And I spent a good amount of time getting used to that. Which wasn't pleasant, but slowly the iron started to come back up. Excuse me. And I added in some seafood. My husband said, let's try some fish. So my husband has been very supportive in that he tried to help me find foods that aren't going to take me so far off the vegan path, but that are going to be healthy for me. So we tried some fish, some salmon, and some shrimp. I tried salmon and shrimp, and the shrimp did okay. The salmon was still a little bit rough, but eventually I was able to start adding back some other things. So the irons come up, and I only have to do a small supplement pill that I take with 2 vitamin C pills, and I didn't have to do any shots. So it worked out well. And I still do a majority of, I do a lot of vegetables. So I make sandwiches a lot. I call them sandwiches, but Costco has these great, they're called gourmet lettuce leaves that I buy, and they're not huge. They're small enough to make just a little tiny, and I call it a boat. But I put a little bit of mustard in there for, flavor. And then I just put some meat, a little bit of meat, like a sandwich meat or something, or I try to buy, some vegetables. I'll cut up the small sweet bell peppers and put those in there with 1 slice of cheese that I cut in half. I'll cut up tomatoes, I'll cut up cucumbers. So I put a lot of veggies in them, and that's what I'll eat. And like one of those will be my lunch. Like I'll buy that, and then I usually cut up some berries, or I'll have a little bit of cottage cheese. So I've had to kind of work around. I can't do the vegan. I would like to eventually go back to the vegan, because like I said, I feel like my skin is a little bit better. My stomach is a little better, and I feel better when I eat vegan, because I feel it's more natural too, and I think your body's wanting the more natural stuff. So that's kind of where I was at, and where I'm kind of trying to hit to.
Well, I know that as time goes by, you're going to be able to go back to your vegan lifestyle. Your stomach is going to stretch more, and you're going to be able to eat more lentils and more beans, and possibly the tofu is going to not aggravate your stomach as much. So it's just, you're a biochemical individual, and sometimes you're going to be great on a vegan diet, and other times you're going to need to add a little bit of meat into your diet. I think that you should listen to your body and bop and weave. I know that your body loves veganism. It loves that type of diet, but I'm also glad that you're looking at your iron levels and working hard to restore your iron levels. What about looking at a lifestyle like a pescatarian moving forward?
And so that's kind of what we've looked at too. And so that's going to be my next step, is to go back to pescatarian, so that way I can just do more seafood, as opposed to beef and chicken and things like that. However, I will tell you, the guys that work hunt, and they introduced me to elk meat, and that was pretty good.
And that's okay.
Really good. So I figured once in a while, I'll be okay to do a little bit of meat. I just don't want it. I don't want it to be my main staple. And so right now I'm trying to work back towards that. And I talked to my husband a couple of weeks ago. So I'm trying to work back towards eating more vegetables, as opposed to, and I know you don't like the word keto, but I was able to find, it's called the Keto Vegan book. And so it's more of a high protein, and I look at it, it's a high protein, low carb vegan diet. So I'm kind of looking at that and some of the recipes in there, and see what I can do to kind of work that into my life.
I love the ketogenic diet. I think the diet is fantastic. It's just that when people hear keto, now they think of those keto snacks and the keto packaged foods, and the keto manufacturers that are jumping on board. So that's why I use the word low carb lifestyle now instead of using ketogenic, because they haven't stamped low carb lifestyle yet on packaged foods. So we'll see what happens.
And they still put a lot of stuff in there that just are not healthy for our bodies. And I really prefer to have things that we can make. If I can pull it out of my ground and eat it, then I'm down. I'm totally on board. But when you're buying stuff that you can't pronounce what's in there, that was my concern. And that was kind of one of the reasons why I initially went to the vegan diet. I just was like, all of this processed stuff, and I'm having all these other health issues and my weight gain and everything. So that's kind of why I went that route. And with having this new tool, it's helping me better be able to figure out what I can and can't eat, how much I can and can't eat. And so I found this little container at Walmart, and it's got like several little, and I posted it on our Facebook page, on your Facebook page, and it's got several little compartments. So I can put a whole bunch of different things, because there's some days when you'll eat something and it just doesn't set well. So I always have a little bit of a variety in there. So when I take it to work, I can be like, oh yeah, this isn't sitting well with my stomach. I can put that back in my little box and go to another little hole that's in the box. Say, okay, this is working for me. I can eat this today.
I saw that post. That is a bento box.
Yeah, I love that box. I need to get another one because I only have the one, so I have to wash it every night, and I fill it up every nighttime. But I would love to get a couple more so that way I can just have them prepared and just grab it in the morning, and then every 2 or 3 days I go back and refill them, wash them and refill them. But it was a great find for me, and I've had several people ask like, hey, where'd you get that at? Because it really is helpful because you can put in there, like if you want a snack, I like to buy the little bags of nuts that haven't been roasted and salted that they have at Costco and stuff. So I'll buy those and put one of those in there. So in case I want some nuts, because of the job that I do, I don't always have time to just sit down and eat a meal. So if I know, okay, it's hitting the fan today, you're going to have time to walk, I can grab the little bowl that comes inside there that's got my little nuts in it, and I can walk around. I can carry that in my pocket and walk around and eat that if I have time. So I just try to make sure that my snacks are healthy. My biggest hurdle I need to overcome is my emotional eating. And that's been my biggest struggle. Like I said, with doing Mandicare Life for my dad when he was still alive. I would snack when I was upset. I would snack when he was snacking because he was excited to be having a meal that he was able to keep. So I just started a lot of snacking. So right now that's what I'm working on is not snacking and making sure I'm doing more meal prepping. And that's why I put on the side, this is how I'm holding myself accountable. I'm going to post pictures of food. My apologies to everybody, but that's how I'm holding myself accountable. So if there's something I should be doing, I don't see it.
You go ahead and post it. It's not my group, it's our group. So you post away. Now, I know that you have made some decisions to move forward with cosmetic surgery. You're having an upcoming procedure performed in Mexico. And that's programmed for March. So we have September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months to prepare. I love that because you get your iron levels nice and high before going into surgery. And that's going to be important to have a high protein diet going into surgery. And also for healing afterwards, it's going to be really important. So tell us about your decision and what you're looking forward to regarding this next phase in your journey, the plastic surgery phase.
So for me, it's not, I know there's a lot of people that think, oh, you want to do this because you want to look sexy or you want to look. For me, yes, I want it for me to look sexy, not because I care what other people are going to think about me, but for me, I've always really struggled with my arms, and you can kind of see since the weight loss, my arms were big before, but they were full, right? And since the weight loss, I've got, my bat wings, and there's cute little summer dresses I would love to wear, but I won't wear them because my bat wings flap when I walk, they flap when I run, and if I lift my arm, I feel like everyone's staring at me. And my biggest thing for me is I finally had to get over, and I'm still working on it a little bit, but getting over what other people think of my body and not worry about what they think, but what is it I think of myself? And my husband tells me this all the time, you don't need the surgery. And I've got to the point where you're right, I don't need it. And I'm somewhat comfortable now with where I'm at, even with the skin and things, but I'm getting ready to retire in a year. I retire, and we plan on retiring to Costa Rica. And I want to be able to get on the beach, and I want to be able to wear a bathing suit and feel comfortable and not feel like I have to wear one of those little skirt thingies over it so that it covers all the way to my legs, and then I wear a t-shirt over. I want to be comfortable enough. If I want to wear a two-piece, because I'm still going to have stretch marks. My mommy tiger stripes will still be there, and I'm okay with that. But if I want to wear a bikini bottom and, whatever, I want to be comfortable with myself doing that. And I want to look good for me, where I can look at myself and be like, dang, you look good. I don't care what other people think. My husband's the only person, his opinion, as far as my body goes, matters to me. And he loves it the way it is.
I think your decision is amazing. The reason for your decision is amazing. And you and I are going to be neighbors because we're either going to be in Panama or in Nicaragua.
Yay!
Which
Yep,
part of
so
which
I'm
part of
super
Costa
excited.
Rica are you going to be in? I didn't know that.
So we don't know yet. So what we've decided we're going to do when we retire is we're going to go to Costa Rica. We're going to rent for a few months at a time, just rent a little place somewhere and see where we like. Because here's the thing, being that we're going to be the foreigners, we want to make sure our neighbors like us too, because sometimes you go to foreign places and they're like, we don't want you here. So we don't want to go somewhere where we're not wanted, and we don't want to go somewhere where we don't want to be there. So we're going to look around the entire area and see what we like. For me, I would really love to go to Guanacaste. And my reasoning for that is because there is an orphanage that's close by that they actually have the expat sponsor a child to help get them through school and assist them in getting into a decent American college so that they can create a better future for themselves.
Oh, well,
So
I
would
love
like to do that and
that's
go
beautiful.
volunteer.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've actually been to the Guanacaste coast. I've flown from San Juan to
San Jose?
San Jose to Liberia, the airport in the Guanacaste coast. And I was in Playa del Coco and Tamarindo. But this was going back. So this is going back when I was 22 years old. I'm 52 right now. So this is 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and it was in a really, I think it's a great idea to go there. Don't settle in one place. Go to the Guanacaste coast. It's wonderful. So many places to see over there. And then see how you feel about San Jose also, those areas around there.
Yeah.
And then come and visit me in Panama or Nicaragua.
For sure.
You know what, Jennifer? I love your story. I love your journey so far. I really want to repeat this podcast again. After your cosmetic surgery experience, your journey is like an inspiration to so many people. And I just want to thank you a lot for sharing your experiences with us here today.
You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. And like I said, if there's one person that my experience can resonate with and will help them, then it makes everything worth it, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. And so I'm super excited. I can't wait. I look forward to seeing you again after surgery.
We will. We'll meet each other. We'll meet up in Central America.
That's right.
Thanks,
and
Jennifer.
We'll have a small dream.
A middle-sized one.
Okay, I'll go for that too.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sheri. Have a good day.
And thank you to our listeners for being here today and listening to Jennifer share her really important, uplifting journey with us. Don't forget to download the app Bariatric Expert, where you can find free recipes and menus and lots of support on your bariatric journey. Until next time.